is Manny Ben-Noor. He is founder and president of BrideClick, who is a niche advertising network with a core focus on the wedding market. So Manny.
Hi guys. It's on my phone, so I'm not being rude by looking at that constantly. I apologize. I also don't know the level of everybody here in the group, so if you're pretty high level, I'll go a little faster. If you're not so high level, then we can go into it. So my basic presentation is really more about the mistakes that we've seen publishers do, and then one or two things that we think that publishers should be doing that they're not. The way you can look at what BrideClick does is we help medium-sized websites, even smaller websites in a specific niche, really make more money through direct relationships, programmatic. A lot of times they don't have time or the understanding of the technologies, how to use it, how to utilize it. And so by aggregating, we put them together. We're a very standard, old-school ad network. I know that's kind of passé, and I feel like it's coming back, or as he pointed out, it never really went away. You know, DSPs, SSPs, they're really just ad networks, where it's like a marketing bit. We only work with advertisers and publishers, but you still need all the DSPs to make your SSP amazing. You still need all the SSPs to make your DSP amazing. So, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to interrupt. But just press this.
You gotta roll the ball.
Alright.
The mouse also needs to be on. It's kind of a hack.
Let's see. Can you just press next? There we go. So the number one thing we see that ad publishers don't do is they don't segregate their ads. They'll take one ad tag, put it across all of their pages, or at most, they'll take, oh, I've got a home page and I've got content pages. You really need to look deeper. This kind of ties into what you talked to about, and I'll talk about it a little bit later on in the presentation, but the more you segregate, the better it is. Whether you're looking to do direct sales or programmatic, it really is helpful to segregate. Whether it's segregating all your 720 by 90s from your 300 by 250s, whether you segregate all your food articles versus your travel content, what publishers tend to do is just put up one ad tag and forget it. And there's different ways of doing this. You can pass through key values that are populated through the actual site, or you can come up with 1,000 different tags and tag each article each time. The most important thing is to actually do it. Every segmentation that we've done for our publishers has always been able to increase their revenue, right? Different ad units perform differently. You can segregate your desktop from your mobile, from your tablet, and you'll see performance will go up on certain ad units. You can sell those ad units at a different price, again, programmatically or direct. Adapt programmatic and header bidding. Putting AdSense on your site is not programmatic sales. You have to understand that there's a huge difference, and there's a lot of partners. When you're a medium and small publisher, not a lot of people usually come to you, and those that do come to you are usually tier 3 networks where they don't want you working with anybody else. And with the advent of header bidding, dynamic allocation and DFP is no longer a real issue for you. If you guys don't know what dynamic allocation, it's what allows DFP to look at the direct sales you have and compete it against the exchange and AdX. But what Google did is it made it so dynamic allocation only works with AdX. And so you had to figure out other ways of working with other partners. You could do price priority, but that never really worked well because the actual revenue you earn per call or per CPM wasn't always the correct one. You had to put it effective eCPM, you had to put a rate that you thought you got, or you have to do some kind of deal where if you've been able to do $2, you would pay $2, and then you have to push all the ad units back. And so by going programmatic and adapting header bidding, you make that auction happen on the page in real time, and you're allowed to auction off that one single user to as many people as you want. Now, you shouldn't do 100 people. You should stick to somewhere between 5 and 3, 7 if you really have a great system and you're working with Akamai to do your video plays and everything. But try to stick to 3 to 5. But what that does is every impression is then auctioned off to your 5 partners instead of what happens with DFP, where it's only auctioned off to the partners that you have through AdX. Again, AdX takes a cut, so you're better off doing it yourself. A lot of times with the publishers that we see that we work with, they have one ad network they're working with, and then there's defaults involved, and that goes to AdSense. And that's just not a way to maximize your revenue. Try to find more partners, try to learn more. Sorry, thank you, DJ, by the way. Adapt video. So a lot of people think they need video to actually make money from video. That's not true anymore. And I'm not talking about the annoying 300 to 250 video batters. You can do outstream units. If you've got good content, long content, you can have 2 or 3 different outstream units in there. You can work with Teads, you can work with about 100 other companies. And also, what's really important is, listen, if you have content, you can make that into a slideshow. You don't need to shoot video. You can take your article with 7 images, stick it automatically into some music and some words, and you'll get plays and be able to earn revenue on that. So it's not just about making videos. You can adapt video. And I think one of the bigger issues is a lot of times you don't put a placement for the video on the website. I don't have video content. Where am I going to click the ad? What am I going to do with it? Think ahead. When you're redesigning your site, when you're looking through what it is that you do, think of what advertising opportunities are available to you and put it in there. So many times we come to publishers and say, hey, let's do this video unit. It's not possible. We have to talk to their coder, we have to talk to their programmer, their devs to try to figure out the placement. Affiliate links. I know you guys are thinking this is in 1999 or 2000, but with Amazon actually growing bigger and bigger, you can write articles about kayaks and make money off that affiliate link. So you're not limited to selling beauty products, which, by the way, make a ton of money for a lot of our publishers in the wedding space. But you can also find Amazon links about different topics that you can work into your content. It really is back to the day where you can put in, I talk about kayaks because it's actually an article I read, 6 or 7 different kayaks, and they're all just from Amazon. You put an affiliate link in there, you can earn your revenue. So whatever content you're creating, there's different ways of making money that aren't limited to just banner ads. And rate per session at eCPM. This actually goes back to what the gentleman was speaking about. Don't think about your user on eCPM. Don't think about even a per page level. Think about the user and how they go through the journey of your site. Try to understand them. Try to see what ads will work best for that. And then also try to bring them back. A lot of times the publishers are so focused on eCPM that they forget. Maybe somebody does give you a $4 eCPM, but they only buy 30% of your traffic and they send the rest of it to AdSense. It's not your real revenue. And if you look at the rate per session, you can figure out that this user is worth more. This user reads 3 or 7 of my articles. Try to find more users like that. A lot of users now, a lot of publishers now use Facebook to send traffic or Outbrain or whatever it is. Don't do it for every user. Try to segment out those niche users that go to your site and stay there, to really get engaged with your content. Look at the content. Try to build that similar content. If you wrote a story about yoga pants, and yoga pants is kicking ass, there's high bid density coming from programmatic, and a lot of people are going from yoga pants to 2 or 3 other articles that are similar, make that journey easier. Change your website so that the next article linking from that article is that article that most people are going to. Look at your users on their session. Don't look at users as just one-off, hey, I need $10 eCPM, I'm great. Try to really figure out what your audience is doing on your page and implement ads to do that. Some of the technologies that you could look into to work with, Parsely is great. It actually ties in to Google Analytics that ties in metadata so you can know more about the topics of the articles and not just, hey, they went to this page. Companies like Zilliq that allows you to input ads in places that you never would, on the fly. Regardless of it, stop thinking of the user as somebody who just comes off and leaves. Think about the user and how you can get them to journey to your site. Because no one's going to www.whatever.com. They're going to directly to that article. Try to find the relationships with that article to the next. And the best way to do that is follow users and understand them. That's really about it. I was hoping you guys would ask more questions. So if you want to go back to a few slides, if you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer. I'm not sure how big or small the publishers are.
We can obviously have a lot of impressions because we're dealing with over 200, 400 websites.
Yeah.
How do you deal with the blank ads that you're getting through programmatic or medium misimpression?
So that's a loaded question. It really depends, right?
Yeah.
There's 4 or 5 different ways that you have blank ads, right? First of all, you can have blank ads because of double verify. So somebody on the DSP level, somebody on the advertiser level forgot to white label your domain, and so now you've got this demand, but it's gone. Another thing that could happen is it could be a technical issue somewhere on the site that's showing it. And two, there's always, no one's bidding the CPM minimum that you have in the rules. The truth is, if you have 0 minimums, and you're working with AdX in that sense, there's no reason for you to have blank ads. Now, obviously there's always technical errors, but at the end of the day, I think that if you're looking to solve the blank issues, it's just trying to get a few more demand partners in there, or so the. I didn't even look at my notes. There's the old waterfall system that people used to use, right? You have the highest advertiser to the medium to the lower. So what I would suggest is have your programmatic stack, right? Compete with your header bidding, and then still have a default ad unit. Something that you can sell. Or, we talk about affiliate links. You can definitely get some affiliate links that go into it. There's a company, I can't remember the name, what they actually do is they semantic analysis of your page and match you with an affiliate like CPA link, and they put it together. I don't remember what they're called, but you could probably use that. And then create ads on the fly for a specific affiliate.
So when you actually start using header bidding, at what point does it become relevant?
And it's a good question. I think you have to have enough traffic to matter. I think if you have 10,000 page views, you're not going to do anything. But if you've got 100,000 uniques plus, then I think header bidding will increase your revenue. You have to remember the scarcity is key. Now, you might not be able to do programmatic direct deals because that is, unless you're super niche. We're weddings. So for us, a large site is 500,000 uniques. Right? For me, 500,000 uniques is something that can make 100 grand a month easy. Right? Because we're niche, all the CPMs are insanely high. I can stick 3 or 4 different ad units. I get $50 CPM for video. If you're not in a specific niche, it's going to be difficult for you to do that. And probably one of the issues you guys have is because your newspapers, it's not always about one topic, so it's hard to go and say, hey, buy us. Probably political is where you make a ton of money, and then outside of that, it's kind of like up and down depending. Q4, I've got to spend. This is a safe way to spend when you spend it. But it's difficult to be like, oh, it's not like a newspaper that's like, oh, we only talk about financial stuff, so all the financial advertisers come to them and throw money at them. So now I lost the train of thought.
So when does it become relevant?
I'd say about 100,000 uniques and up is when you start doing it. The problem really comes is that it's still technically difficult to do. So unless you're tech savvy, you'll need a partner to help you. A lot of the larger exchanges, which I would recommend, like Index, I can't remember if it's Pulse Point, even OpenX. For example, we want to work with OpenX. We do about 80 million uniques a month, 80 million impressions, not unique, sorry, that's you guys. We do about 80 million impressions a month, which isn't much, and that's too small for them. They don't want to work with us because we're under their 100 million. Most likely, what you have to do is find a partner like an index exchange where they would, work with you, but you have to use their header bidding technology instead of building out your own.
There's also, if I can just jump in, Xavier Jenkins, I'm historical report on News Corp, but before that I ran Summon Exchange North America, which is a programmatic platform. Not pitching them here, but there are mid-tier programmatic platforms out there that are engaged in header bidding. It's not just the number of impressions, it has to do with the scale within the platform itself. So if you're a mid-tier publisher on a small programmatic platform, you're not exactly invisible. The other end of that, because they'll give you some direct attention.
More love.
Yeah, they'll give you more love. They'll actually pitch part of their mix of who has header. Because you have to remember what header is supposed to be, right? Header is supposed to be that a brand can say, this is who is our best customer or our ideal customer for this sort of transaction. We want this person. And so when that person is visible in data, they want to have first crack at that, right? So some of it is scale, but some of it is having the right data, and you shouldn't shy away from it because you think you're small. What you want is as much price pressure as you can create around every impression.
Yeah, correct. It ties into the journey, right? If you know a user is worth 10 cents per session, that's $100 CPM. Pharmaceutical company, whoever's bidding on it, if you can get them to the next page, you'll probably even get 65 and then go down to 52. So it's important to be able to look at them at that session and follow them. And he's completely correct. You want to create that pressure. You want to build it up. for example, if you've got your direct ads, you want to have them be competing with the rest of it. I've known some companies to do is actually take a direct demand and put it into a bidder and bid against programmatically. So they're 100% programmatic solution. They don't have an actual like, well, they have a P obviously or an ad server, but they don't have like a DFP with their own ads in it. In fact, what they do is they just bid against themselves. And what happens is they drive up the price. And in their point of view, if someone is willing to pay $12 or above to outbid the direct sales, let it do it. Then the other side is you have to guarantee some impression from your direct. So there's always a fight there between sales teams and programmatic teams.
What the effort is, the secret effort no one's talking about is, direct sales is a first price business, right? You say we want $10 CPM, this is what it is, here's the package, $12, whatever it is. Programmatic and all RTB is second price option, right? The only time that's
changing.
Well, no, it's changing. That's my point.
Changing now.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The reason it's changing is because there's now technology that allows someone to raise their hand and say, "We're willing to pay this if you give us that." So that becomes new first price. It's also putting pressure on second price as something that at some point might kind of go away. Because if you've got someone willing to pay you 80, then you should get the 8 and not 3. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's kind of like, I feel like it's more based on transparency. It's kind of the storage war is phenomenal. Where remember in the early days those storage unit shows where you'd be like $1,000 in here, and then they know what they're doing, and they'll bid $400 because they know there's profit, and the schmucks that don't know what they're doing bid $12. I feel like header bid is kind of seeing that same phenomenon along with programmatic, because now with the first price auction, it's about transparency.
Well,
and you really have to know what you're bidding on. Because these guys that bid $8, when they know the second lowest bid is 5, because they went at 501, that's going to be gone.
But they're actually both going to be driven by transparency in the long run. Starting now.
I don't see second price. I agree with you with transparency, but I actually disagree with you about what it is. Like you said earlier with key storage. I think what's actually happening is advertisers are playing the high frequency trading game, right? And some, not all of them, are super niche, and there's a breakdown in communication with the publisher direct. So if you go back in time and you look at how you used to do direct sales, you used to have to fill out an RFP, you have to negotiate, finally get the insertion order. But through that entire timeline, you would learn more about what the advertiser's KPI is. And if you're a publisher that creates content, you go back to your editorial team and you're like, hey, we're going to take for 65-year-old women, start making some content, let's try to create that audience back. Today you don't have that opportunity. You don't even know who's bidding and why they're bidding. All you see is that there's 12 cents and that's what you got. Well, sorry, that's for you. Let's say $12 CPM and that's what you got. And so whether it's first auction or second auction matters. If there's a company called AdVelvet, for example. AdVelvet, for example, that has an AI system that automatically writes rules and ad acts so that you can bump up the price. And the way they do it is they say, hey, there's 6 bidders, these 2 are the bidders, and because they get these pricing, this one bidder went up higher, and he's bidding again. Let's make a rule automatically that says you have to bid $8. And oh, he did $8. Okay, let's go to 10. Oh, he did 10. Oh, he did 11. Oh, he didn't do 11. Okay, maybe it's a different line. Let's go back down to 8. And so there are tactics that publishers can implement to get rid of that second auction. But I don't think it's just transparency. I think it really is publishers are reading the newspaper the next day to make decisions, and advertisers are playing high-frequency trading game. Because what usually happens is you've got your mom-and-pop advertisers, which are like this much of the actual revenue, and you've got your huge, WPPs, and they're like, I want to keep as much of my money as I can and spend, as much of it. And so when you have those people that are bidding $8, let's just say wastefully, like the guy just keeps pumping change. I think that's more has to do with the relationship they have with the advertiser and the advertiser's role, and some shadiness on their end. I've seen campaigns come through that shouldn't be on our, there's no reason for you to target our sites with certain ads, and I see them coming through, and I think it's really just people are just trying to get delivery and show them how they can reach. And that's not always the best case for the advertiser. But anyway, back to your point. Transparency is really important moving forward and even going backwards. There's a lot of ad fraud, you've got ads without taxes being implemented. I'm not sure that's the right solution. But there's other things that people don't talk about. And I don't disagree with you. For example, no one realizes that if you have header bidding on your site, everyone can see exactly which one you're making. But you can build a header video listener, go to the site, and literally know exactly how much money everyone's making. So when your competition's like, oh, I made $10 CPM, or when you're doing a direct buy, you're like, oh, I made $10. I'm like, I ran a listener on your site for a week. I know exactly how much you made. So let's take a step back, right? So there's a lot of like holes that need to be filled, a lot of security that no one's talking about. I mean, you have this huge video ad fraud, and I still think a lot of it's going on today. And it's just, you talk about how there's not enough fill for video. I think there's enough fill. I think there's just a lot of fraudulent impressions that are getting that fill. You know, what was it, $5 million a day in ad spend was going to fraudulent? I don't know if anyone knows about the article. Basically, a bunch of Russian hackers got together, created a system where they created fake domains, and they were like, oh, we're an RTV, we're an exchange, you want to buy CNN.com? We have it. And it wasn't CNN.com, it was like bot traffic, or fake traffic.
But isn't that where ads.text comes into the picture?
Say again?
Isn't that where ads.text comes into the picture?
It does and it doesn't, but then I know everybody you're working with. So now I know everybody you're working with and exactly how much you're making. And you know what? For me, it doesn't matter because there aren't that many niche players in the wedding space. Or, for example, we acquired Glam Mode Media, and so we have the assets and we'll be launching Glam.com. We actually already launched it. So for me, like the competition between Glam and the rest of it doesn't matter. But if you're a Newsweek, or you're, you don't want anyone seeing like what exactly you're doing that you shouldn't know. So ads for text is the best, most secure way to do things.
And I'm already hearing stories of people reselling their inventory to networks to begin with. If they're on someone's sites, ads.txt, they got BD people reaching out to some of the mid-tier guys in order to be selling. Because they can get on the page and they can maybe get a better price from that type of buy than they can for a prototype stack. And so I'm seeing it right now on that servers. We're seeing it on both sides.
So I have a question in regards to floors.
Okay?
How often should you be going into your website to
Well, it
kind
depends
of...
how big your organization is. If it was up to me, I would live and breathe and change the rules every 5 seconds, right? I'd build an AI. If I had all the money in the world, I'd build an AI. That's an entire person. It's like, okay, increase it by 1 pin, another pin, penny back. I do that. The real truth is how big is your organization? If you've got 12 people, you won't have someone who can sit on it. So for example, my organization is 18 people now. We have one person whose part-time job is to go into AdX and create rules. We don't usually change the rules often. If you're a bigger publication, you've got a lot more money, a lot more impressions, I would definitely have a dedicated person who make changes daily, if not hourly. I mean, part of the issue is people think programmatic is automatic, but it's not. It's two machines talking to each other. It makes it easier so you don't have to sign IO and do, maybe you still have to do an RFP, but you don't have to sign IO and send tags over. But there's still people on the other end making decisions. It's not all machines, it's not all AI learning. I don't know one company who doesn't have any people looking at their campaigns optimizing. I just don't. I haven't met one. Everyone I know is like, oh yeah, we have AI. Yeah, who does the optimization? Michael in the back.
All I'll tell you about that, I've been sworn to secrecy, I can't say what company, but there was a major company that tried it for a moment and they ended up having to call a bunch of their partners and say, hey, we didn't mean that. We didn't mean to pay that much money. So they went back to me.
Exactly. So that's the key. And so lagging behind 24 hours, if you're a standard organization with enough people, enough resources, is fine. And you'll be within the exact same space as the advertisers. Right? There's no one who has 24-hour people on it. It's like, okay, I look at the report an hour later, sorry, not an hour later, a day later, a week later, maybe some testing, maybe I'll look a few hours later, but most people would still be standard 24 hours. So if you're going through the system, you're making decisions on a 24-hour basis, you're a good company.
I don't think it's humanly possible to squeeze out every penny out of it because there are just so many combinations. If you just look at AdX, right, and the number of rules you can create in AdX based on the attributes that they support, it's humongous. You go to factorial 425. Those are the number of combinations.
Well, don't forget also, not all combination actually matter, right? So like I talked about segmentation at the beginning. Take out your mobile from your desktop, create a separate rule for desktop and mobile, you'll see an increase, right? Why? Because desktop gets one price, mobile gets another. Same thing with video, same thing with geolocations.
Traffic source.
Traffic source. Don't forget device type. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know that iOS and the age of them having the identifier is gone, and now you have to do all this back-end cooking. But at the end of the day, people still bid higher for iOS than Android. Even though Android's bigger, and actually probably you can tell more things from it, I still get more money for iOS than I do for Android. So segmenting these things out and separating rules on a much larger database. So if you're asking for my advice, whoever's doing your ops to go in there, pull an Excel, do a pivot table, figure out where the biggest differentiators are. You know what? Maybe iOS and Android isn't your biggest differentiator. Maybe it's the fact that it's, you know, California versus New York. Make that a specific different attribute. For the longest time, I haven't understood why no one's gone out there and really just put up like, this is a massive amount of traffic in Georgia. So if you've got a geolocation Georgia campaign across my network, here you go, Georgia, you can expect to do 1 million views. It's still not done that way. Now it's usually just like, oh, this is 100% viewability, or this is all on CNN.com, and that's what's put out there as programmatic release. But there's different opportunities. If you look at what you're doing, you know, just figure out where the most traffic is. And you're not going to make $1 billion off 10,000 impressions, but if you've got 1 million impressions and you can segment that to 10 different 100,000, you could probably increase a good 10, maybe even 25%.
Actually, just trying to find what's meaningful in the quickest manner is what really matters.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because not all, like when we look at ads today, it's like the combinations are infinite, but if you just look at a set of combinations that yields you more than $1 a day, it completely shortens to like maybe 500 combinations.
Don't forget, you're limited to only 2,000 rules in that.
Yes.
So it's not like, you know, what's it called, Nexus, where you can literally create billions of rules. It's like you've got 2,000 rules and that's it. So creating a rule per thing, per unit, per impression might not make sense. But, you know, sometimes even time frames, it's weird. Anyone else? Just out of curiosity, how many of you are like big publishers? How many of you are tiny publishers? How many medium? Or you're all that tech?
Content creators.
Content creators. Yeah. Okay. All right, thanks guys.
Thanks, Manny, that was great.